Welcome to House of Horns. My name is Victor Corona, aka Victor Producer, and joining me live from SoFi Stadium is Gilbert Manzano, who does it for Sports Illustrated. He's an NFL staff writer there. Gilbert, how's the vibe out there? Is there a playoff atmosphere?
You know what? It seems a little gloomy. I think because it's raining and it's a little dark out here. But I bet you maybe that's the type of mood you want. Like it's a little intense. It's a calm before the storm. Thursday night football. You see the Amazon Prime broadcast people hanging around. I saw Richard Sherman in a very bright red suit, maybe for Christmas. But you could tell once the lights come on, it's gonna be going on here. But it does feel like that storm kind of vibe right now where it's very quiet. People are expecting something to pop off in a bit. And I
Yeah,
also wish I had a better background, but I couldn't find a view for the field, by the way.
no, it's okay. We're just glad to be. Uh, we're glad that you're there. If you're joining us, I see a lot of people joining us. We got a bunch of people. Go ahead and drop any question for Gilbert. He's at SoFi Stadium. I'm in my home office here. Gilbert, this is a matchup of two 7-7 teams who are looking to punch their ticket to the playoffs. If the Rams win this game, their percentage to make the playoffs goes up to about 75%. If they lose, it goes way down to about 18 to 20%. So this is a big game for the Rams. A couple of weeks ago they were 3-6. It didn't look like they were going to make the playoffs, but now they're 7-7 and they're looking ahead, trying to make that run towards a playoff spot.
Yeah, I was talking to my good friend Gary Klein of the LA Times, who covers the Rams very well. He's been around the team since he moved to LA, and we're just standing there like, hey, like if you're here, that means it's a good sign. I'm like, yeah, the Rams are winning, so I came out, but we had a nice conversation because like, yeah, we did not see this coming at 3-6. They drafted really well. Kyron Williams, Puka Nakua, a lot of stars on this team, and before it was just like we keep talking about Aaron Donald, Cooper Cup, Stafford, and the head coach Sean McVay, but they have so many guys step up. I just saw Raheem Morris on one of the screens here with his kids. So, he's done a great job with that young defense too. So, when I caught up with Gary, I'm like, yeah, you're just drafting well, young guys, turning around. But, you know, I guess who would have thought this at 3-6 against the Packers going into the bye week to get Kyron Williams back, and here they are 7-7. You mentioned the numbers, but if they win this one, they're looking at a good spot to get that playoffs.
Yeah, and I think, also looking at this game because we don't have a lot of time with you, so I kind of want to get into this matchup as well. And one of the things, as I was listening to a couple of people today, kind of look at some different statistics. I think looking at this New Orleans Saints team and what kind of opponent are they going to face, when for the Rams. I think looking at Dennis Allen going up against Sean McVay is going to be a big key here and see because he's a defensive coordinator, and that's where this game is going to be won, I believe. But one of the stats that I saw is that, and something to kind of keep an eye on is the fact that the New Orleans Saints are 6-1 when they score off a turnover. When they don't, they don't do so well. The other key stat too was the fact that in their wins they have about 24 sacks, and then and they're like 1-6 with 6 sacks in their losses. So I think if they can stay clean in this game, I think that's going to be a big thing for them, Gilbert.
Yeah, offensively stay clean like you mentioned, and then on the other side get a couple of takeaways for this young defense here, and maybe for Raheem Morris to show out with his defense on primetime football, help him out, get a coaching gig, a few interviews too as well. But yeah, I'm not surprised with those numbers. When the Saints get a takeaway, I'm sure that they win games, and when it's the other way, when it's Derek Carr throwing a pick six or just a fumble or whatever he's doing, maybe the numbers dip a little bit. But shout out to Nancy right there. Que onda, compa? There you go. Nancy, I appreciate the comment there. And it's a big time game, Victor. So Dennis Allen, Sean McVay, like you mentioned, you know, Dennis Allen has been up and down defensively because the running game has been a little off. Like I mentioned on Wednesday's show or Tuesday, yeah, Tuesday. I'm losing track of the day. When they allow like 100 yards, like they usually don't win that game. So, but Dennis Allen, you can't overlook him. Demario Davis, Cameron Jordan, Tyron Matthew. They don't have Marshawn Lattimore, but still, uh, kind of a similar vibe with the Saints and the Rams, where you do have your veteran players who've been around. We all know the wars between the Saints and the Rams. during the Drew Brees era, like in Sean Payton. But those young guys are not as further along as the Rams young guys, and that could be the difference here. But you still have a coach who knows how to coach defense, and maybe could give Sean McVay and his offense, Matthew Stafford, some trouble.
Yeah, and one of the things that I kind of wanted to share from Trey Wingo, I saw this stat and it kind of blew my mind. So since we've talked about the when it comes to the Rams, since week 10, the Rams are 4-1, averaging 30 points a game. The Saints are 1-5 against 500 or better, giving up 27 points and have a -5 turnover differential. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. And Nancy, just to the question that you asked, this is a house of we're talking Rams tonight. But if you have
You can
any
answer it. That's
question,
fine.
yeah, go ahead. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
and real quick, I may show the video screen here of I think those are Stafford's kids. Yeah, can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, I feel like a lot of it's like a family vibe today because it's Thursday night, prime time, big time game here.
And it's the second primetime game, and it'll be the only second one that we see for the Rams, unless
Hey, real quick, there goes that's Otani right there.
oh, there we go.
Is that it?
Yeah, there you go. Otani's in the house,
Nice
so
leather jacket for Otani. I like it.
yeah,
That's pretty
and
cool.
they were saying that Yamamoto was also supposed to be there, so that was another big thing. But we have a question for you, Gilbert.
Yeah,
Nancy Neri wants to know what you think about Philip Rivers as offensive coordinator or head coach.
yeah, it'd be interesting. I know we saw a current, for not as good quarterback in McCown. Is it Josh McCown? Josh McCown, not Luke. Josh McCown, trying to do it with the Panthers, it hasn't gone well. But sometimes if you know what you're talking about, know what you're seeing out there, and you know the game. I don't know if it'll be like an offensive coordinator or head coach. Sometimes you do shoot up that quickly, like a Josh McCown, like I just mentioned. But just to maybe hang it around, like Rivers being at the game at SoFi a couple of weeks ago, just chatting it up with Justin Herbert, I'm sure that goes a long way. So I don't know. I see that, but as an offensive coordinator or head coach, I'm sure Rivers is enjoying Alabama and coaching high school players. But just to be around the team and coming back for Antonio Gates' Hall of Fame Day, for have Herbert to talk to him and pick his brain, I'm sure it goes a long way.
We got Daniel Calderon. He's one of our usual guys. Daniel, what up? Thanks for joining us as always. Oh, there's
I'm
Otani.
just gonna keep showing the time the whole time.
Yeah, and then Marty, I'll get to our guy Moy 42 there. They're asking no Yamamoto. No, they said it's only Otani. No Yamamoto. The Rams were expecting him to be there. I guess they were told that it would be Otani and Yamamoto, but with the Dodgers and a bunch of other teams trying to get Yamamoto, it would have been a good look for the Rams. But hey, at least we get Otani. And then we got what up, boys? Fantasy football question. How good are the Rams when it comes to defending secondary receivers? Is Rashid Shaheed a good play? I would fade Rashid in this game. If you have a receiver, I'd go with Chris Olave. I don't know about what you think.
Is he gonna play? I haven't checked up on Shahid in a bit. I know he was dealing with might have been a hammy. Uh,
Let me check the actives. Actually, that's a good
he
question.
might have returned last week, but I have not heard his name in
Let
a
me give you
minute.
the actives and inactives. Saints inactives, yeah, Jay Hayner, Cam Densler Sr., Condre Miller, Lonnie Johnson Jr. Yeah, no, so
He's
he's
good.
active.
All
He's
right.
active.
To answer your question better, Moy, I really like my Raheem Morris' scheme. It's one that's designed to keep everything up closer to the line of scrimmage, and he takes away the deep game there. So when you got a roof over the coverage, it's tough to get guys involved like Shaheed, who's kind of a I guess I should say one trick pony. When you're a
Yeah.
vertical speed guy, just go down the field to stretch it out because also Shaheed is also vital for Chris Olave. Like if a Shaheed does something and he pops off, that makes Chris Olave's life easier. But you also got to keep in mind that the Saints are going to be trying to focus on Kamara, Taysom Hill, Olave. Like he's kind of fourth there. But there are times where Derek Carr just says, "F it, let me go downfield." They're doubling up Chris Olave, and I don't think they really do the shadowing thing with the Rams. But if they're really focused on Olave and you see Shaheed open, it could go off. It's kind of I think you're right, Vic, on a fade, but it's more like a boomer bust kind of play, at least for me.
Yeah, that's why. And I know a lot of people are gonna point, well, this Rams team has given up, they've lost contain down deep. We saw OBJ, we saw Terry McLaurin, but those are the number one or number two guys. You're talking about Shaheed here potentially having a get behind that defense, and it could happen, but I just don't see it. And then we have a couple of more questions. American Steel, all we need to worry about is winning, no distraction, go Rams. So, yeah, I mean,
I like it.
yeah, and then for people who are watching in Los Angeles and you don't have Prime Video, the game will be on locally on Fox. That's one thing that I was able to check out. Last week's game between the Chargers and Raiders was also on Channel 11. So, and we talked about it, Gilbert, with Prime Video. It's been kind of a disaster in Los Angeles when it comes to streaming. Uh, but if you're wanting to watch the game, you can watch it on Channel 11 here in LA. So that'll be a cool thing too. So,
Yeah, and
um,
American Steel. I'm guessing you don't want to talk about Shohei Otani. No distraction. Just win the
yeah,
freaking game and go to 8-7. And real quick, shout out to Nancy and Moy. I did actually put the live here with the on the Compas on the Beat channel, so you see people from who are Chargers fans or just fans in general of football. You just
yeah.
want to watch a good game, the Saints and Rams. Definitely today's gonna be a good game. So you want to talk about fantasy football? That's also fine here too. So everybody's welcome, all encouraged. Just drop a question, drop a comment. We'll be here for a little bit. Maybe Victor will hold it down. But right now, it seems like it's pretty chill. Like, it's so strange to me that this press box is very quiet. Sunday football is not like this at all. I thought it was going to be difficult for me to find somewhere quiet.
Yeah,
But
I was like, well, we'll see. So this is
yeah, he's
pretty
going to
cool.
keep
That
doing like shots here. Kyron Williams right there.
There we go. So I mean, we haven't done this. We haven't done a pregame just because we took advantage of the fact that you're at SoFi today. So and then you're doubling up, right? You're going to the Chargers game as well on
Yeah, I'm
Saturday.
supposed to be there Saturday at SoFi.
So
So,
if you're
yeah.
watching, if you're a Chargers fan, keep a lock on. Make sure you're following Gilbert. He's got you covered along with Fernando Ramirez, who covers the Chargers as well.
Yeah,
So
and ESG, that you're correct. No Marshawn Lattimore more in the secondary for the Saints makes all the difference in the world because that's their number one cornerback. They have a couple young guys, or especially I think their slot guy might be good, but when you got to worry about Puka and Cooper Cup, you better have your entire secondary healthy, and they're not healthy at all right now.
yeah, and a lot of the defense for the Saints comes from their pass rush and their linebacker. At number 56, Demario. What's his name? Demario. Is it Demario Thomas?
Davis.
Demario Davis. There we go. He took over that game last week against. Why am I? I'm like totally blanking
He
on who they
played
played.
the
The Giants and Tommy
Giants. Yeah,
DeVito.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that.
Or, I looked up his name, but the cornerback, keep an eye on him. Alante Taylor, he's not bad. I've seen his game, and he's I check up every now and then how he does in terms of like PFF or just stats. And the Saints actually like him, so let's see how he does tonight.
And Nancy says, appreciate that I follow both. Cool.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Nancy.
We appreciate it. And for those watching, keep sending you comments. We will share them on here. If I don't get to them, remind me and I'll get to it. Puganago is gonna go off today. So I mean, it's a great matchup. Like we talked about in our preview for this game, Gilbert. We talked about the fact that hey, we want to see what the Saints try to take away. Is it going to be Kyron Williams? If you do that, then you're opening up the passing game for the Rams. If you try to take away their passing game, then Kyron Williams, you're gonna have to feed him. My biggest worry is that we've been seeing this with Sean McVay. He's a great coach, but he likes to throw the ball, and when you get down in the red zone, he just forgets about the run. So hopefully we get a little bit more runs in the red zone from Sean McVay there, and he feeds Kyron Williams.
Yeah, let me give you their defensive front. Obviously, you got Cameron Jordan for the Saints, a well-known name, and then they're very young after that. They got a Brian Breesy, the first-round pick. I don't know how much he's playing, but he's behind veterans like Nathan Shepard and Kalen Saunders, two free agents that got in the offseason. Carr Anderson, the other edge rusher. They got Isaiah Foskey. I think he was like a second-round pick this year, but they did, spend capital on the defensive front, but it's a mixed unit that's it's not as maybe like a Kobe Turner, right, or Byron Young. Those guys are panning out. The Saints also spent money on the defensive front, and it's kind of like Cameron Jordan, like give me some help here. So maybe Sean McVay and Kyron Williams could do something there. But like you mentioned, to Mario Davis, having him like an Ernest Jones as a spy to cover a little bit of everything could make it life a little difficult. But I'm not going to count out this veteran Saints crew with Cameron Jordan. He tends to step up in prime time as well. I'm sure the Rams fans know about Cameron Jordan from those those matchups in 2018, 19, or 17. I forget that issue there. But
Yeah,
go ahead.
talking about this comment here, ESG. Thank God we have an indoor outdoor stadium because it's been raining crazy today. Gilbert, is Ray coming in there? Because there's some openings there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I don't know if it's raining right now. Well, I can't really take a view here, but it looks pretty dark and gloomy. So I don't know how when I got out of the car, the rain had stopped. But there could be like I remember I covered that Raiders Chargers game. I think it was Monday Night Football, where it was like a weather delay. People were making fun of it because there is a roof here. So like you
yeah,
mentioned, ESG indoor outdoor, because it's more like a storm watch. I don't think we should worry about that today. But I think the rain probably let up a little bit, so it shouldn't be a problem. But for the people who are next to the open air there, maybe you might not like it. But I'm telling you, I feel like it kind of reminds me a little bit of last year's Thursday night football game between the Rams and the Raiders, where Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield came back and won the game. That one felt like nobody expected anything. Like, okay, Baker Mayfield's going to play, whatever, and turned out to be one of the best games of the year.
yeah, and I was thinking about that game between the Raiders and the Chargers, where there was a delay. I think it was like a 45-minute delay because there was lightning, and I'm like, you paid all this money for a brand new stadium, and then where it's supposed to be indoor. But good comment there by
I like that.
ESG because it's an indoor outdoor stadium, and we forget about that.
Yeah.
So
And I like
yeah,
Nancy's comment too. The
yeah.
Puka Nakua runs the same routes and reminds me a lot like Keenan in his second season, and that says a lot. Puka Nakua is doing it in his first year. And he's big, so he can play inside outside, which Keenan Allen does. He's not the fastest, but he just runs great routes to get open. Keenan Allen as well. So I keep comparing Keenan Allen to Amon Ross Brown, but I like this comparison too for Puka Nakua.
Yeah, and two Pac-12 receivers. The Pac-12 no longer exists now. Well, as of once Washington is done playing, it won't exist anymore. So, yeah,
Was it
just
what, Keenan Cal?
Keenan
I'm
Cal.
on Raw USC. Well, Puka went to
Yeah,
BYU, but
yeah, he went
close
to
enough.
Washington, but
Well, he did go.
technically
Yeah,
he
you're
won't go
right.
to Washington. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he ended up at BYU,
I
but
lose,
yeah,
I don't know if people have this issue, but I lose track of who played where. Like
yeah,
the final school you came out of and you got drafted, I keep track of that. This transfer portal and transferring every year, I lost track of that. And then keeping track of the conferences, I don't care.
yeah, and then yeah, like the same thing with Jalen Hurts. He started out at Alabama and then ended up in Oklahoma. It's like, what is he? Is he with? I'm sure he goes with both.
Missed a shot. I was gonna tell you to do a grito, Vic, with the mariachi here, but
Yeah, that's right. They have the mariachi there. That's really cool. Um, Gilbert, so let me ask you this: is this a must win for the Rams today? Like, they're at home,
yeah,
they're on Thursday night, they're not having to travel. Things look, everything points towards the Rams having the advantage here just because it's a short week. They're not the ones having to travel across the country. That's the saying. So is tonight a must win for the Rams?
yeah, it's everything's set up for them. They're not the ones traveling. They have the younger roster. They're at home, and they don't have the luxury of trying to win a division because I think the 49ers already clinched it, right? The NFC West. It doesn't even matter regardless if they did or did not. The Saints, if they lose, they're still only one game behind the NFC South, so they don't have as much pressure as the Rams do. So I think they got to win this one because then you got to play the 49ers in Week 18, and they got a sort of a tough one in New York. You're going on the road, so it's still a very young team. So win it tonight and feel better about yourself. American Steel. Don't forget Robinson. I keep forgetting Robinson. That's my bad. Demarcus Robinson. He has been playing great lately. Yes, he has. He was a summer camp standout, looking for another shot in the NFL, and he kind of went quiet for a few months, and then he just popped off in the last few months because of injuries.
Yeah, he was on the bubble to make the team, and he ended up making another thing. Gilbert, Tutu Atwell is active,
Yeah,
so he should be ready to go. I mean, you got Ronnie Rivers as well; he's active, so you have a third running back there. I want to see how they feature him, especially with all the carries that Kyron Williams. I love the fact that they continue to feed him, but you got to start worrying because he hasn't played a lot of games the last 2 seasons between playing in college and then getting hurt last season. So you kind of want to keep him fresh, especially if you get into the playoffs. And for that first round game, if you get in, Gilbert.
yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, maybe I feel like it's a little dangerous game looking ahead, but it's always good to be ready and having players fresh. So, but yeah, Robinson's doing well. You got, we'll see how Higbee does tonight. He's been a little banged up too. Speaking of the injuries, and then you got Davis Allen, another young player too. So, like I mentioned when I was talking to Gary earlier, just to see everything come together for this young roster, veteran guys that want a second shot like DeMarcus Robinson, guys that I already know like a Cooper Cup hanging around, and Stafford playing just lights out. And I think we keep taking them for granted.
Yeah, and then the other thing to kind of keep in mind is that this is going to be, the first time that a lot of the national audience is going to get to see the Rams, because they haven't seen them since, not the way they're playing now. They saw them what was it, week 3 Monday Night Football against the Bengals.
Yeah,
Now you get to see Matt Stafford and this top 5 offense and see how it does against like a middle of the road. I wouldn't call the Saints a top 10. I mean, they've been good against bottom tier teams, but not as good as against good teams. So this is a good test for this young Rams team. Last week, they let the Commanders come back, but that was more of, as we talked about, they're a young team, and now you get to see, you get to get that national audience.
yeah, they're a different team, and people keep saying it. I know I like to, talk about the difference in teams, the 49ers, Eagles. People keep reminding me, hey, anybody could win a game, especially this Rams team. They could win a game against the 49ers. I can't wait for Week 18, but they are still young and trying to figure out their way. But Nancy, I've been frustrated with Tutu Atwell. I'll use that word. It's been frustrating
Yes.
trying to watch that guy, but he found the role. He carved out a niche for him. Like he's the vertical threat, the jet sweep guy. You know, before it was more like, okay, well, here's one catch. Where are you, 40 yards, maybe a touchdown. That's it. Now he's able to get 4 to 5 catches, a handful of targets, and just to be versatile. It adds more to the play sheet for Sean McVay. So if you could do that and you become helpful in that way, he'll stick around for a bit. I want to say he was drafted 21, so it's about to be 3 years. So he has one more year to go. Next year with his contract, he used to really do more. You can't just be seldomly good and then have some kind of value, but you got to really make the most of it, like the Marcus Robinson is doing right now.
Yeah, and to Nancy's point, Gilbert, as much as we've praised the Rams draft, they've had some disappointments, and Tutu has been one of them. You drafted him in the second round, and outside of this season, there hasn't been a lot of production. And then the other thing too, you have a guy like Logan Bruss who is on the practice squad. I mean, they cut him; he didn't even make the 53-man roster, and this is a guy you drafted in the third round last season. So
Yeah,
I mean, that's the other thing too. Like, yeah, we've been, uh we've said great things about this draft, but hey, like as we talked about, I mean, that's still pretty good. You have 14 draft picks and you get 6 starters out of it, 5 to 6 starters, a punter, a receiver, a couple of linemen, two defensive tackle, a defensive end. I mean, that's what you hope for. And they we talk about when we talk about baseball, if you hit over 300, you're doing good. In football, like if you get 3 starters out of your draft, you're feeling great. The Rams got 5, and so that's something to look forward to.
yeah, that's why it's a big reason why they're in the playoff mix because they have the draft hit. So when
Yeah.
you do that, you tend to make noise in the NFL. So I'm looking it up real quick. I should probably look up the Saints draft, but this I keep going back to the Saints draft in 2017. It gave Drew Brees one more shot to go
Yep.
to the Super Bowl, and
With
obviously
Alvin Kamara, they
the
got
Rams
Alvin.
Rams got in the way. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Kamara, Marcus Williams in the second round, the safety, and they got Marshall Lattimore in the first round, and then Ryan Ramczyk, their right tackle. I'm not sure he was going to play, by the way. So that's 4 guys. So that reminds me of like Byron Young, Kobe Turner, Puka Nakua. Who else am I blanking on here for? But obviously got kind of Williams, but that was last year. So Davis Allen, that's another one too. So when you get 3 to 4 for sure is a sweet spot of guys that make an impact. When you do that and you combine with veteran rosters, like one that's won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, it definitely goes a long way. Uh, Vic, let's do another five
All right.
minutes before I get going.
No,
But
no, go.
I want to
I
hear
was just
people's predictions here because it is a
yeah.
close game.
Yeah, go ahead. Give us your prediction. What do you guys think is going to be the final score? Who wins? Who loses? Do the Rams have a shot at the playoffs here? Let us know what you guys think. But Gilbert, I was just going to say the reason why the Saints continue to not, pretty, not tank, but hit the reset button is because they keep hitting on those draft picks. I think had they not hit on some of those draft picks lately, they probably would have hit the reset button. But they continue to. They're like the Rams. They continue to be all in. So it'll be interesting to see there. We have another comment here. Has been one of the rare. Yeah, Tutu has been one of the rare Rams misses. Yeah, they've had a couple of misses there. Like as we pointed out, they've been really good. So we'll see. It says y'all heard from Kaplan Cruz stated Bills coming to Chargers. Um,
Buffalo
I
Bills.
don't.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
playing there Saturday night. Yeah, if
yeah,
that,
Saturday. Yeah, and Gilbert will be there. So, yeah. So make sure that you guys stay locked in. If you're following, go ahead and give out your Twitter or your X, Gilbert, so people can follow you. You'll
yeah.
be there on Saturday as well.
At G Manzano 24. That's also my TikTok. I do more things on TikTok and also here YouTube, Compas, House of Horns. Occasionally make an appearance on What's Up Boats. Fernando and Dan have you covered for Chargers, Bills as well. But oh, Bill Belichick, gotcha. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Bill Belichick for the Rams, and I know people from the Chargers. Sorry, Bill Belichick for the Chargers, but Raheem Morris should be a good candidate. But I know people want to stay away from the Brandon Staley connection, where the former DC of the Rams go coach the Chargers. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think somewhere to keep an eye on for Brandon Staley, I'll say it now is if the Packers fire Joe Brady, he's a good candidate to end up with the Packers defensive coordinator. So just throwing it out there now before you start seeing it. Only thing Saints can draft is a first round pass rusher.
That's so
Yes,
true. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I'll keep an eye on Breesy tonight. The guy from Clemson, he's a defensive tackle, but he's still pass rusher. So we'll see what he does. But yeah, they've been trying to help give Cameron Jordan help, and they can't do it. They lost. They drafted Marcus Davenport. He left in the offseason. I remember that. You know, they lost a couple of D tackles too. But yeah, they've been struggling there.
yeah. So Jerry Guevara says, I say 34-17 Rams. They make a statement tonight, got to do it. So, and then according to this, they would hit the over too, which is, I think, 44 and a half. So that's something to look forward to. All right, Gilbert, I think that's all we have for this pregame show. I want to thank everybody who joined us. We'll be on after the game. Um, Gilbert, here we go. One more here. We have Rams winning by 14 by Nancy.
Okay.
It says, let me get something. This Breeze will be very good in a few years. Solid run stopper. He has a good pass rush set. There you
Okay.
go.
Keep an eye
And
on
we
him tonight.
got JK Day 19 says go Rams. So thank you guys for everybody. Vamos Rams. Yes.
Vamos.
There we go. All right, Gilbert.
Yeah.
So there we
Yeah.
go.
Just a reminder. I went Rams 30, Saints 27. I'm keeping it close, but I'm going high scoring game today. I think it's gonna be a good game tonight.
Yeah, I went 27-24. There we go. We're getting a late Puka with 160 yards.
Whoa.
All of a sudden, as soon as we're trying to leave, everybody hops on. I love this, by the way.
Yeah.
It's up to Gilbert. If he has time, I'm more than happy to stay. Rams and Kyron Williams going to plow
Yeah.
through the
You
Ains
want to watch a
47-40.
peach for the Saints, or no, not so much, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Gilbert. So we'll be on after the game, depending on if when Gilbert finishes his
Yeah,
story, and then
another one.
yeah, there we go.
Okay,
One
every time a
more.
comment drops, I'm gonna go in another 30 seconds, longer 30 seconds, 30 seconds.
Alexander H. Plus 30 Rams. Always
Oh,
been wary of Rams versus Says. I predict yes. Well, this one is. I mean, yeah, I yeah. This Moy 42. I predict a Derek Carr pick seven. I mean that's. I mean or
it
six.
could be 7 too, man.
Yeah.
Knowing Derek Carr,
Knowing
or maybe a pick 2 for a safety, if that makes sense. I don't know.
I was gonna ask you how what do you think about the kicking situation for both of these teams? I think both teams have a rookie kicker. I think that might be somewhere.
Yeah,
If this game is close, both teams got to be pretty worried about their kicking situation.
actually, let me see what Haley has done this. It's Lou Haley, yeah, Hatley. No, I'm getting it wrong. Hetley, there we go. Do you have the stats anywhere? Obviously, we know Lucas Haversick doing decent, doing well the last couple of weeks. So
Yeah, he
maybe,
missed the one kick against the
yeah,
Commanders,
true.
and then with the new
Yeah,
snapper,
they should have
that's
kept Mason Crosby on the team to put more pressure on him.
yeah, just have him on the active roster like Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, just to put some pressure
What was it?
on Lucas
Blake,
Haversick.
sorry, Blake Groupie. I'm thinking about the punter.
Yeah, Blake Rupi. Did you hear the story about him that he's had trouble getting into New Orleans because he doesn't look like a football
Yeah,
player?
I'm seeing his
And
picture right now, so
yeah,
I can see why. Let's see. Blake Groupie is 25 of 32 on field goal attempts. Not the best, but 7 field goals missed, but made 25. And then 30 of 30 extra point attempts. So he's good there. So, yeah, we'll see.
and we'll see Nancy Neri after the game. As we said, we have the post game
Oh,
show for you guys. Um, so depending on when you're available, Gilbert,
yeah.
we got one more.
Yeah.
Rams going to win.
I'm going to say, what depends on how the game goes, but I'll talk to people in the locker room. Sometimes, the star players like to take a while, so it could be a little late, but hopefully maybe you know, 45 minutes after the game. I don't know. If people want to stick around late, I'm sorry to delay people, but maybe people want to talk to Victor instead of me, so
We
that's
got
fine
our
too.
guy Dan and Diego. Look at Gilberto with the fresh cut.
Look at Coach Dana Ramirez with a nice profile picture and with the
Yeah,
American
very
flag.
professional of him
Yeah, I
there.
like it. I like the American flag emoji next to the name. Shout out.
He's like, I'm gonna try to log in Easter time. His different, yeah,
Yeah, sorry, Mo.
yeah, and he's always joining us for our looking ahead show. We appreciate that, and also our Lunes live. So we appreciate
Yeah.
that. We
All right,
got a
go
couple
ahead.
more. Maximus Bonce Rams put up 36 points against the second best defense in the NFL and 31 away from home against the best defense in the NFL. And Ravens Saints are horrible against the run, and Stafford will blitz their secondary. 2-2 back. 2-2 Atwell is back. We got Moy again. Danny Dago is the goal. Yeah, he is. And then Americans, how many sacks do the Rams get? I say 4 or 5.
Mm,
I say around 2, just because we know that this team doesn't pressure. This defense doesn't put a lot of pressure. They rely more of keeping everything in front of them, and then just getting the ball back to the offense. So I'll say American Steel. I'll say they get about 2 sacks, but I
yeah.
hope you're right. If they get 4 or 5, that'll be.
I'll,
We got net.
I'll go. I'll say 4-2. How about one each? Aaron
There,
Donald, Kobe Turner, Michael Hoyt, Byron Young. Get one
there
each.
you go.
But
Watch,
yeah, that'd be pretty impressive if they do.
yeah, watch Camaro gonna
Yeah.
fumble. I'm going
Here's,
up against.
here's the owner of the Rams. Oh, they keep missing the shot. That goes Les Snead, by the way.
Les
But
Need
the
and
owner, the owner of the Saints, she was stylish with a nice cut.
Benson.
Yeah, there you go. So,
Yes.
yeah, the owner came out for this game for the Saints. So there you
Yeah,
go.
I mean, who's not gonna? I'm sure they were expecting a more nicer day here in LA. Unfortunately, they got the rain, so I don't blame them for coming out to LA. But that Gilbert, we were supposed to do 15 minutes. We ended up doing
Yeah, I'm
33
actually
plus.
surprised how quiet it is in this press box. I thought it was super noisy. You won't be able to hear me. So yeah, we're doing a little longer.
Yep.
And that's real quick. I know I decided to put this live on Compas on the beat, and I'm wondering if Rams fans and Chargers fans will fight, but you've gotten along pretty well. So I like seeing all the channels come together. I appreciate that.
We got Maximus Bonce. SoFi gonna go nuts tonight. Gonna be awesome game. Rams all the way. So
Yeah, Maximus, I'm telling you, it feels quiet because maybe it's all gloomy and dark, but I feel it's gonna pop off tonight.
I'm wondering what the fan base is going to be tonight, because we've seen a lot of the opposing team fans take over SoFi. I'm wondering if now, with the excitement for the Rams, I wonder if we're going to see more Ram fans there than Saint fans. Saint fans do like to travel,
Yeah,
so
and
it'll be something to keep an eye on
there's a
too.
lot of Saints fans in LA. I feel like I know a few LA Saints fans, so we'll see how the crowd is.
It's Horn's house here.
Ha-
it's, uh,
House of Horns,
it's House of Horns.
but
All
yeah,
right,
we're
Gilbert.
gonna hear that a
So
lot tonight. But yeah,
yeah, we're glad that you're there at SoFi. Can't wait to see all the videos. We gotta respect the Rams fighting for us on the rebuild. So f them
yeah.
picks, f the salary cap. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like that
Gilbert.
one meme where like Apollo Creed. No, is it? No,
Oh yeah,
Apollo.
yeah,
Well, it's
like
not Apollo, but the guy who
yeah,
plays
I
like
know who
Carl
you're talking
Weathers
about.
and
It's
Arnold.
Arno
Yeah,
and
with the little
Carl Weathers.
doing the handshake. Yeah,
Yeah, it's from Predator. Yes.
uniting for a night because right now the Chargers want to get a top 5 pick and the Rams want to go to the playoffs. Different goals, but you can support each other. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, but thank you, Gilbert, for giving us all this time. Like, I'm sure a lot of Ram fans appreciate it. If you're this is the first time watching us, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're giving away a Puka Nakua jersey, so even if you're not a Ram fans, go ahead. You'll be eligible. Oh, there we go. We got Aaron Donald
Oh,
getting ready. There we go. And yeah, like we're giving away a Puka Nakua jersey when we get to 1,000 subscribers here on House of Horns. Also, if you're watching from Compas on the Beat, we're also go ahead and hit the subscribe button for What's Up Bolts. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on there as well. We're at
Yeah,
601 there. So hey, like we appreciate the support, and that's one way of us, giving back is by giving away a Puka Nakua jersey. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it.
yeah, we appreciate our support on all the channels, House of Horns, What's Up Boats, Compass on the Beat. We like doing more lives because we get to know people, and the comments today were awesome. Nancy, Moy, Maximus, American Steel, who was Coach Dan Ramirez, JK Day 19, Alexander, went with the plus 30 on the Rams. I like that. And who else do we have? Jerry, shout out to you.
ESG.
Yeah, ESG. So I like this. Marty, shout out to you. Daniel Calderon. So pretty cool to see all the support. Thank you.
There you go, Gilbert. We're getting some thanks here,
Alexander.
but yes, there we go. All right, Gilbert, go ahead and close us out. We'll see everybody post game show. Make sure you are following us, and we'll have you covered. Gilbert will give us his thoughts, his takeaways on this game. The good thing is this game is on locally on, like I said, Channel 11 Fox here in LA. So I'll be able to be able to watch it because if it was on, if I only had to be able to watch it on Amazon Prime, I wouldn't be able to keep up with it with how bad the streaming has been on Amazon Prime. So, Gilbert, go ahead and close us out and give us some final words
Yeah.
for to get us ready for this game.
Just a quick note because I don't want to make people wait. If you see the other live channel for the post game show, and you could comment right now. We're not on, but you just comment and say, "Hey, we can't wait for Gil. We want Victor to jump on as soon as the game's over." And you see like 3 or 4 of those comments, Victor, just go ahead and do it. If not, wait for me after the locker room, and we'll jump on and talk Rams versus Saints here. Hopefully, it's a good night here. JK Day 19. Thank you. I appreciate the love and support, and I appreciate you, Victor, for holding it down too remotely for this House of Horns episode.
There we go. All right, Gilbert, go ahead and close us out. We'll, hopefully the Rams come out with the win here, Gilbert, and they improve their playoff chances to about, I think it's 70%. So with the win, so
Yeah.
let's hope for a Rams win for this channel. So yeah, Gilbert, go ahead and close us out.
All right, so it's that time. I got to get to my seat here. Hopefully, it's a good game. Rams versus Saints, Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime broadcast, Compas on the Beat, House of Horns, everything here. So, on that note, nos vamos, pues, vámonos.